Hi Sagittarius, this is your July 2023 reading using the tarot. I've been shuffling these for a minute now and just meditating over them. Let's get right into your reading. Let's pray, Sagittarius, together that the wind out here doesn't blow this tarot spread down the beach on us. Oh, just as I said it, let's have a look. Let's get right into it then. As I'm sitting here in the nice warm sun, I'm thinking about how the astrology of July 2023 is really supportive for all of the fire signs. Later in the month, the sun will move into Leo and we'll begin Leo season around the 22nd of July. But before that, we have Mercury moving into Leo this week. Venus is already there, will be there all month. Mars is still here in Leo. So this is making a nice fiery trine to any and all of your Sagittarius placements and other fire sign placements. Okay, Temperance, we're starting with your major arcana, Sagittarius. Amazing. Okay, so what a beautiful card to start with. There's an angel here, and the wonder and awe of the month ahead is really speaking to me now. Okay, you're amazed. The Lovers, beautiful. Your polar sign of Gemini coming through, but also just a very divine union coming through in not only just in July, like this has been something that's been on your mind, I think. Okay, so let's just pull them out and I'll get into them. Four of Swords, the Fool. So we've got so much major arcana card. We have the Five of Swords there in the past. In the Four of Wands coming up, we have a beautiful fiery Queen of Wands here in the upright position for you too. The Tower, okay, you know, a little bit of spice, a little bit of fun. The Wheel of Fortune, your ruling planet Jupiter here. Sagittarius, this is the biggest, most impactful reading I've done for any of the signs yet for July. So I'm super excited to get into it. And we also have the Three of Cups. I'll really only refer to love in a general reading if it's here, and it is. The Temperance card as your first card out. Well, I can't help but notice that the angel and the rainbow is making a perfect kind of love heart shape up here. And this is, of course, your major arcana telling me that I think, Sagittarius, you're ready for this soulmate connection. You're ready to be with the one. Some of you already are, and some of you are already noticing so much that you're with the right person, the person who absolutely completes you. It doesn't have to be another Sagittarius or indeed a Gemini, but those signs are here, and as we know, Sagittarius and Gemini are polar signs, so it's just the perfect balance. It's the perfect flow between you and this person. We have water down here and fire. So of course this is again another symbol that suggests that you are with the right person right now, or if not right now, it's on the way really soon, I would sense, for a lot of you. And if that's not something you're interested in or even looking for, that's okay too. This suggests that there is a perfect balance within you at this moment. The inner world represented maybe by this little pool of water here, and the outer world, what you're striving for, your ambitions and your aspirations, they're really just in a flow state right now between each other, in support of each other. So that's probably why you're feeling so good, Sagittarius. This is sort of like, I'm seeing like this fresh new little baby emerging in the world in you. And I think that's what the Tower in your environment actually is about. It's not necessarily the Tower happening to you right now. It's like a new world is being created for you to step out into. And it's like the Tower in the environment is the crumbling, actually, of old paradigms. That's what we're seeing on the collective, of course. But we're also just seeing like the stripping away of illusion in your environment. Everybody seems to be getting on the same page. Everybody seems to be getting your message and things like that, and understanding you. The Temperance card suggests that you're currently, in the month of July, you're going to find yourself in a flow state. You're going to find yourself perhaps divinely guided. You're always divinely protected. But the Temperance card suggests that this is like, it's so high vibrational, this frequency that's coming from this card. I'm loving it for you, because this is just a month then of joy. This is a month of choosing to step into a higher vibrational frequency, and then allow what's on that frequency just to flow to you. The temperance is a very inner state being reflected in the external, and the external world is harmonious with what's going on inside. So beautiful. The lovers card, I mean, of course, we've touched on this already. This could suggest the relationship that you're in right now, thriving, super harmonious. This might refer to the relationship reading that I've done over on my Patreon for the sign of Sagittarius. I'll link that below. But this is also kind of suggesting to me that there is an important person in your life on the way, even if not now already, but you're like clearing a lot of space for a divine union of sorts, one that is just, you know, super meant to be. And I'm really happy to see the Lovers card here. This could also represent a choice that you're making this month, and for some of you I'm actually seeing a little bit of difficulty with this choice. So I'm actually seeing that there is there's a relationship here that, and we always have to take into account the person we're in a relationship with, but there's something about you desiring to expand, perhaps through travel, perhaps through a move, perhaps through going back to school, or some sort of a decision that you're making at the moment. It is around a new calling for you, or a new way of seeing the world. The Wheel of Fortune is that very lucky, opportune and expansive hope that you have. This is in the hopes position, so you have this high hope basically to do something your way, a new way, but it's actually not a new way, it's the way it's always been done, if that makes sense. And there's something about it that like requires a leap of faith. I think that's the Fool card in the subconscious. There's something about it that requires a lot of faith, basically. It's something that isn't necessarily all rational or logical, and I think that's where you're going to run into a little difficulty in terms of this choice, because some of you are in a relationship now, or you're in a partnership, might even be work or friendship, that you nearly have to convince the person you're with that this is the right choice to make. It's actually the expansive choice to make. So the Four of Swords here, you're in reflection over the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is what happened in the past, and now the Four of Swords is you processing that. This was the wrongdoing that occurred recently, and I don't know if it was you that was the person doing the wrongdoing, or them, or both, but all I know is that it's in the past. What can I say about that? This person has all of the planets on their fingers. They look like kind of a bit of a rebellious character. They're reminding me of a character from Peter Pan, even like one of the Lost Boys. I'm seeing that here. So there's a bit of mischief here. There's a bit of course, immaturity, denial, escapism, all of those things that come up when I think of a Lost Boy motif. So there was somebody who was in denial, and there was somebody who was a little lost, I think, on their journey. And because of that, there was a lot of obstacles that were ran into. Now, these obstacles are in the past, but the reflection on them now is what basically you're doing. You're sleeping, you know, you're kind of, in a sense, some of you might even feel haunted by this. This is almost like, you know, you're in a dream state here on the astral, and one of those swords from the wrongdoing is still very close to, basically it's coming right through your heart chakra here. So it's still really close to home, and some of you might be jolted awake at the moment. I'm actually, that's very interesting. I've had dreams recently that I've jolted in them, and that hasn't happened to me, God, in as long as I can remember. I'm going to say years and years, but recently I'm having these like quite jolting dreams, and they're not necessarily good or bad. They're just kind of jarring. And so I wonder if that's happening with you too, Sagittarius. You're having these like awakening moments, or like just heightened sense of an awareness that kind of catches you off guard, basically. I think it's coming from a little bit of the subconscious processing that you're doing now from the wrongdoing of the Five of Swords. So there was a lost boy, or you were the lost boy. There was somebody who on their journey, you know, they did something wrong, they made a mistake, as the Five of Swords, a regrettable action, And this could kind of vary in extremity, of course, but know that that is something that's still playing on your mind right now, even though it seems to be quietening down for you and you are leaving this wrongdoing in the past and moving on from it. There's just still a little bit of processing that needs to be done, is what the Four of Swords is talking to me about. And it seems like a lot of it is left at your feet, basically, with these swords. Like, a lot of it has not even been, like, I'm not talking about it's been jammed down and suppressed. I'm seeing it's actually been processed, and it's kind of like that's formed some sort of a unity again. Like, those experiences and the parts of it that you have already processed have kind of come back together as one, and they're just sort of waiting for this. I guess it was the real hurt, right? That the damage to the heart chakra. That seems to be just what's still, it's still embedded in there. It's still pretty close to your chest. It's near you. It's there when you sleep, or it's there when you know in the nighttime, let's say. That'll join the rest soon, but just know that July is a month where a lot of this is going to be processed for you mentally, and then I guess like on a more cellular level. Perhaps like acupuncture could be good. I'm seeing like a sharp object in the body, so I'm thinking like maybe acupuncture could be good for this, or even any sort of like Reiki or cellular energy healing could really help just shift some of that stagnant heart chakra hurt out of the way for you. But don't rush it. The Four of Swords is quite a restful card. The Fool card at the bottom of your reading in the subconscious. Okay, so it's not your first rodeo show, Sagittarius. This could be from a past life. It could be from experiences in this lifetime where you've had to begin again. And sometimes we expect, the Fool card at 0. It's a fresh start. It signals a new beginning in your life. Sometimes we expect that to just be very obvious, like hit us in the face, like here is the new beginning, handed to us in an envelope, But that's not necessarily always how it happens, especially when I see the Fool card in the subconscious part of this reading, telling me it's still under the surface. There is a new start emerging in your life. It's just not necessarily boom, it's here in July. Now, for some of you, it will be very obvious. There will be a whole new chapter of your life emerging in the month of July. And this has been something you've actually been aware of for a long time, because it's in the past, like it's deep down. But for some of you, the reason this Fool card is showing up in the subconscious is to remind you that from this lifetime, possibly from another lifetime, if you prescribe to that kind of thing, I certainly do, if you haven't noticed yet. But this is about, I suppose, your subconscious wiring, like the settings up here in your psyche have been accustomed already to lifetimes of fresh starts. It's always kind of like a season for everything, and I guess your subconscious has experienced so many fresh starts, so many beginnings again, and risk taking. But this is a little bit of I think risk taking is actually going to be a fun thing for you to play around with. And of course we're going to use caution and things like that, and I'm not just saying like be flippant, be reckless, and that's not the Fool card upright. It's about trust. It's about trust in something bigger than yourself. It's about trusting God or source or your higher self, the universe, whatever you call that kind of omnipresent benevolent force, whatever it is to you. It's about trusting in that, and trusting that that's always going to provide for you, and that we often set up our limitations. Anyway, I feel like with this Temperance angel, you have this sort of like presence with you this month that you love and that loves you, and you feel it, and I think it's really beautiful. So a portal is opening for you. Exciting. The Four of Wands. I see this beautiful big door. It's opening now. It's really bright. It's glowing. It looks warm and inviting. It also looks adventurous. The Four of Wands usually speaks to something quite stable, albeit like there's stability and there's movement, because the fours are stability. However, the Wands and fire is much more like active, right? It's an active agent. So together, I feel like you're stepping into a phase of your life. Let's call it a portal. A door is opening for you now, where you'll be fixed in this for a while, and you'll be kind of feeling like the stability of this. But at the same time, it doesn't feel stagnant. It feels like, okay, this is my life for XYZ amount of time, or this is what I'm going to be doing, focused on. This is where I'm going to be. This is like the area of life I will be thriving in and manifesting in. And it'll be kind of set for you for a while, be it 4 months, be it 4 years. But it's exciting all the way through. Like there's passion there in this new adventure. Would I call it a new adventure? I don't know if I'm really feeling new adventure. I'm feeling like a portal opening in which you're going to reside in for a while, and you're going to enjoy every moment of being there in wherever this door is leading you to. Okay. And that's coming up, I guess. You're going to start noticing that, I suppose, towards the end of July. Like, this is where I'm going to be for a while. Could be from around the 22nd of July onwards, when the sun moves into Leo. And that's kind of when, you know, we're going to be seeing Venus retrograde getting underway as well. And this is a Venus in Aries card, so we are seeing Venus in a fire sign. Okay. I really like that. I really obviously love the Queen of Wands. I'm getting like another sign coming through now as well. I'm getting Aquarius coming through, and I'm also getting Aries coming through pretty much. So the Queen of Wands. So the higher self is here with the message for you. Do not forget that you are that, you know, the Queen of Wands. Everyone wants to be her. Everyone wants to encapsulate a little bit of this energy. The fearlessness, the sex appeal, the motivation, the gravitas, the glamour, this just sort of allure of the Queen of Wands. And it's not like the Queen of Wands even needs to rely on any of those facets. She's of course so multifaceted, but it's like there's a passion in this Queen of Wands. There's an aliveness. There is something that just can't be faked, and it's a really authentic expression of self. And the higher self, it's the position of this card, it's just here to remind you, Sagittarius, never forget that this is you, that this resides within you, that you can tap into this energy at any time. As advice from the higher self, I think it's kind of saying, like, go for it. Are you ready to be successful? Are you ready to really rise to the challenge that's coming up here for you in your life at this time? Well, I think it's reminding you that yes, you are ready to. Yes, you will rise to the challenge, and yes, you're going to make a success of this. So don't doubt, don't forget that. I think that's what her message right there is. Let's then move on to the Tower card, although we've kind of touched on that. This is reminding me of the Tower of Babel. I'm going to just let them fly. I think they're going to be okay. But the Tower card is very much about this kind of old paradigm, yes, falling apart, being washed away, like the Tower of Babel, like, you know, metaphorically, that was no longer fit for any kind of purpose. It was quite a period of degeneration. And whether or not we're in a collective period of degeneration, I would argue that indeed we might be in certain aspects. That's okay, because we know that then everything is cyclical, everything happens in a flow state. So by the natural laws of the universe, before any period of regeneration or rebirth, there is the death phase, there is the crumbling of the old. So we really are witnessing, I think I'm going to go a little bit broader than just your personal life. I think you're really tuned into the dying away of old structures, because you're actually really part of the rebirth. Your essence, your energy is what the new world will need. Maybe you're birthing something into the new world at this time, physically or emotionally, creatively. You're part of the sort of not new wave in a way of, like, you know, like that sounds very kind of like new agey. There's a new frequency. I don't know how many of you guys saw that the Schumann frequency or the Schumann resonance was like going off the charts around the 18th, 19th of June, making really intricate patterns. And as it's the device, I'm not sure if you know or not, but I'm sure you do, but it's the device that measures the Earth's electromagnetic frequency. And to me, that was just like a portal, you know. The Instagram fact checkers, because they're so freaking you know, trustworthy. Those kind of things are saying it was just a glitch in the system. Whether or not it was a glitch in the system, it doesn't really matter. The collective saw it and the collective tuned in. So that's the portal that we're stepping into. I truly do believe you're part of the new frequency, Sagittarius. Whatever you're birthing into the world at this time, whatever you're putting out there, whatever you are embodying in this reality, that's what we need. So you're actually kind of enjoying the crumbling away. It's not scary for you. The Wheel of Fortune, we've touched on that too. You have a hope around expansion, okay? This card to me just looks like a kind of, it's like some sort of a device. Actually, it's a device like we're talking about, right? The Schumann resonance. It is some sort of a device that measures something that is both quantifiable and also mystical. That's both kind of like unbelievable and then actually at the very essence. So you have this hope to do something in a certain way that people might say like, oh my gosh, that's so unusual, and you're like, maybe it's unusual since the beginning of the 21st century, but it's actually not in any way unusual at all. It's very common practice. It's always been part of our experience and our nature. So it's just that perhaps we've been in quite an illusion, you know, we have been living in a lot of illusion, you know, and I don't mean this in your life directly, Sagittarius. I think it's on the collective. This is Jupiterian, you are Jupiterian, Sagittarius, so you know, we can talk about the more expansive qualities of this reality, I think, at this time. And the Tower is the breaking of the illusion, you know, the Tower of Babel, it's falling down. So the Wheel of Fortune, I think, is your kind of part of the device, or like how you use the device, how you use a device in your life to do something in a new way. I also see this though as being like a hope you have of doing something that's kind of a little bit larger than life, expansive. You really want to take an opportunity to do something your own way. And for some, that's going to be triggering because they aren't, you know, they might not be as brave as you are, of course, but they may just not know. And that's not to say there's any ignorance on their part. It's just that they need to be instructed or taught or shown the way, or helped to understand. The Three of Cups, let's end the reading. You're going to be surrounded by people that support you this month. This is a card of emotional support. The cups are, you know, a really beautiful flow of emotion and connection, and the three of them is promoting growth. So it's not stagnant again. It's kind of like people coming together to make something feel better, to make someone feel better. A party, we've got the masks, we've got the cups, we're ready to celebrate. This is a nice indication that this month, perhaps towards the end of the month, there is some real sort of rallying around you, or you're with people rallying around somebody you love, and it's connection, and it's making it quite clear to you that you have a lot of emotional support in your life at this time and always. Sagittarius, thank you so much. I will see you soon. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Bye.